What's up guys, it is Chris back for Watch Chris. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing to the channel, hitting that bell icon and all of that good stuff. It is very helpful for the channel and I very much appreciate it. I know I'm not the only one out there singing the praises of Citizen. They've been listening to collectors, they've been listening to the watch community, they've upgraded a lot of their mainstays, and they've come out with many new models that collectors are falling in love with. Today, we're taking a look at one of their newest models. It is the Series 8. This is sort of a sports integrated bracelet watch. You're getting 200 meters of water resistance, a very intricate dial, and a beautiful bracelet. And also something that a lot of people don't know, you are also getting a Citizen caliber, which is a little bit nicer than what you get from Miyota. We'll get into that during the video. This is definitely a premium integrated bracelet watch, and I am very excited to show you guys. So let's take a look hands-on at the Series 8. I have a blue dial to show you guys, and I'm very excited about it, so let's take a look. The Series 8 watches from Citizen are a premium line of watches that Citizen create, and most of them are integrated bracelet watches with special dials. So most of them have textured dials or some sort of special dial. This one is getting a textured dial, very similar to the GMT that I featured here on my channel. It's inspired by the Tokyo skyline and the windows of the buildings in the Tokyo skyline. So it's a really nice dial and obviously tied in with Japan, which is really cool because this is a Japanese made watch. It actually says it at the bottom of the dial, which is cool. And the texture is really nice and very prominent. You can definitely see it when you're looking at the watch just day to day. You also have applied indices on here. Those are very liberally applied with lume. And then you have an inner rotating bezel, and that is in blue and white. So this is the blue dial variant of the Series 8. This is the 890, and it's basically a royal blue is what I would call it. This is around a 42 millimeter watch. It wears like a 43 millimeter watch, and you could see from the case, it's actually pretty thin considering this is a 200 meter dive watch with an inner rotating bezel, a see-through case back, and the fact that it gets 200 meters of water resistance. It's actually under 12 millimeters thick. That's because of the movement. The movement inside this watch is a 9051 from Citizen. So this is not a Miyota movement. It is a Citizen proprietary movement. It actually has a higher anti-magnetic resistance. I think it's like 16,000 AM, somewhere in that neighborhood, which is a lot more than a standard Miyota movement. Also, it gets a better power reserve. There's better finishing, and it's more accurate. So a lot goes into the movement. So it's pretty cool that they're putting these movements into these watches because these are higher end watches. So they're giving you a higher end movement. And when we're talking about higher end, you can definitely see that this has a very intricate dial. It has a very intricate case as well. There are screws holding the case together. I believe those are real screws. I believe this is a two-part case, and you do get a screwed-in case back where you could see that movement. The bracelet is probably one of my favorite things about this watch. The bracelet is beautiful. So this is an H-link bracelet. It gets basically polishing on all of the edges. You have a very large crown, and then you have those screws. Again, those screws are screwing in the crown guards, and then you have a little bit of a guard for the rotating bezel crown, and that is actually embedded into the case slightly. So again, this is a pretty thin watch. If you measure this watch at these two extremities, so these little areas that are screwed into the case on either side, you're measuring in at around 44 millimeters. However, if you measure it at the bezel, it measures in at around 40 millimeters. So I would say it wears somewhere in between because it doesn't really add that much girth to the watch. So I would say it wears like a 43 millimeter or a 42 millimeter watch. The lug to lug on here is pretty decent. If this was on a strap, it would wear at 47 millimeters. Since it's on a bracelet with male end links, it wears at around 51 millimeters. So that is on the larger side, but it's not undoable for a lot of wrists out there. And obviously it fits me pretty well because I have a 7.5 inch wrist, but I think it would fit smaller wrists than I have. So I think it definitely works. The handset on this watch are fence post hands. They're sort of segmented, and again, those are filled with lume. I don't believe there's any lume on the second hand. That is a needle second hand, and then you have a date window at the 3 o'clock. There is a surround around the date window. Again, there's lots of nice little details on this watch. that make it look premium, and that's one of them, the date window being surrounded like that, those very high indices that they've put on here, and the very intricately textured dial. Everything here looks premium, especially the case and bracelet. Everything is finished really nice. A lot of royal oak vibes with this bezel. It is brushed on the top, and then you have polishing around the edge. You have polishing around the edge of the case as well. You have a sapphire crystal with AR coating that sits slightly above that bezel, and you can see it actually sits just slightly above the bezels. It is also flat, so very legible with the AR coating. You're not going to have a problem reading this watch in almost any situation. On my wrist today, I have my Ciosa, or Ciosa, whatever you want to call it, with the yellow dial. This is slightly less premium, although on wrist it doesn't feel any less premium. And I have to tell you, when I wear this watch, people notice this watch, not only because it has a yellow dial, it's just a good looking watch. It really is a very good looking watch for an excellent price. And there is the Series 8 890 on my 7.5 inch wrist. This is the blue dial variant. It's just under 12 millimeters thick. It's around 11.8, 11.9 millimeters. That's including the raised sapphire crystal. You have about a 47 millimeter lug to lug. It's really around 51 millimeters if you include the bracelet. And this is around a 43 millimeter watch is what I would call it. It wears like a 43 millimeter watch on my wrist. Maybe a smidge smaller than that, but that's what I would say. But it looks like a premium watch. Look at that bracelet. That H-link bracelet is beautiful. It feels beautiful. The only thing that I would say that might need a little bit of improvement on this bracelet is the clasp. I wish there was a little bit of micro adjust. It's milled or partially milled. That's great. I wish there was a little bit more micro adjust. It might be easier to get a good fit for your wrist. Other than that, that'll probably be my only complaint about the watch. Lume is really good on here, very bright on the indices and hands, very liberally applied. In fact, so liberally applied that it's actually lighting up the rest of the dial. The only thing I would say here is I wish that there was lume on the second hand so that I could see that it's working in the dark. That's the only complaint that I would have. Other than that, I think it's very well lumed. Price on this is $1,395. I definitely think it's worth the price. This is a premium product. You're getting a proprietary movement to Citizen inside this watch. Also, the bracelet, the case, the dial, everything here feels premium, looks premium. This is definitely a luxury watch at what really isn't a luxury price. $13.95 is actually in the realm of a sort of mid-range Seiko, and this is definitely a better product in my opinion. This is a very good looking watch with a lot of style to it. Kind of reminds you of way more expensive watches like the Royal Oak Offshore, like I was mentioning before, but it's only around 1,400 bucks. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. What do you think of this watch? What do you think of what Citizen are doing, constantly improving their watches and introducing awesome watches like this? This is what collectors want. They want something that's a little bit special. They want something that's definitely well made, and this is something that is very well made. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. Please also don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It's super helpful for the channel, and I very much appreciate it. Anyway, guys, thank you for logging on. I'll catch you guys in the next video.